Hello, and thanks for taking the time to watch this project, even if the only reason you're watching it is because you assigned it to me and now you have to grade it. This has been a great opportunity to reflect not only on what I believe, but how what I believe contextually works into my life and, just as importantly right now, into my plans for future work in ministry. I'm going to play a video of a song that I wrote that is basically a metaphor for both of those things, the believing and the doing, two themes that play together in the lyrics and in the visuals. The first of those is the idea that faith or theology without action is empty. If what we believe doesn't change our life and how we live it, then we really need to question how deeply we actually believe it. The second is the theme of my journey over the last 6 years, leading up to and really unfolding through the course of my program here in seminary, and particularly the balancing the tension between the value of seeking knowledge and giving in to what I call an addiction to answers. And as the whole project reveals, the center of the conversation is, as it always should be in my opinion, around faith and hope and love. So I'm going to play the video and then I'm going to replay it without my voice in the song, and offer some commentary as to how it all explains my theology. Now, there are a lot of layers to the lyrics and images, and I won't attempt to explain them all. The artist in me doesn't like doing that anyway, but it is a good idea, a good exercise to give language to at least some of the abstract. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video, and even if you're not grading this, stick around for the commentary. Every day feels just like every day before. Every knock's just another hard knock on an old locked rusty door. And the white and yellow dashes fly beneath us as we go out into a great unknown that everyone claims to know. Backseat, love is at the wheel. Faith just rolled the window down just to see how the wind would feel. There's chaos around the corner, here to mess with my mind. My hope sits there in the backseat, still very much alive. Questions without answers, answers without dreams. Dreams that come and go at will, just to mock me in my sleep. Sleep that still eludes me as night becomes my friend. And darkness dances with the dawn, and it all comes round again. Love is at the wheel. Faith just rolled the window down just to see how the wind would feel. There's chaos around the corner, come to mess with my mind, while hope sits there in the backseat, still very much alive. Love is at the wheel. Faith just rolled the window down just to see how the wind would feel. There's chaos around the corner, but I won't let it in my mind. While hope sits there in the backseat still, very much alive. As I go through the video, I'm going to let the passages in scripture that I quoted speak for themselves, but I wanted to start with this quote from Phyllis Tickle's book, as it highlights the fact that the church, the traditional context for developing our personal theology, is and has been for a while in a season of change. We can't really assess our own theological space without acknowledging this cultural shift. Now, the Rachel Held Evans quote here calls up the value of doubt. Clarifying what it is we believe about God and the world around us without leaving room for doubt feels to me like a bit of a fool's errand. And again, the doors here represent the history of the church and how that history informs my belief and practice, but it also calls into question the actual practice of many churches. Notice that all the doors in the pictures are closed, just as they are to so many of us in real life. Now, the white and yellow dashes are my own journey through my spiritual life, each of these pictures representing a stage of my spiritual development. A journey that has been full of people who have claimed to have had more than enough answers to inform my faith along the way. Now, the burnings that we're going to see here, I created in the Gateway to the Theological Reflections class, and they still capture the essence of my belief. Hope, as the banner says, is embracing the belief that trouble doesn't last forever. The reality of life is that hope isn't always the front and center. Sometimes it's relegated to the back seat. The chaos of life, in my case focused a lot around my own mind and health, is what keeps that hope just out of reach, even if always present. Now, the development of our action and belief has a lot to do with who influences us. Much of my early influence came directly from scripture and from contemporary artists like Rich Mullins, but more recently, the existentialism of Soren Kierkegaard and the mysticism of thinkers like Carl Jung have had a major impact on my growing idea of relating to self as body, soul, and spirit. References to sleep are not about rest, but about naivety. What often eludes me as I become less naive with the social injustices in the world is how to embrace the intersectionality of everything going on around us. The night that becomes my friend is a subtle sense of comfort that we develop with the constant state of unrest and confusion. Now, Paul Tillich suggests that faith should be defined as our ultimate concern. Whatever that is most captures or holds our attention and devotion becomes the essence of our faith. The metaphor of the song has faith relishing the fluidity of the wind. And as I stepped away from certainty and learned to love the mysteries of God, the very nature of my shaped faith has morphed. And one of the major shifts from a renewed focus on love as the center of my faith is no longer believing in a Christ and a cross that was needed to root out the evil in us in order to reunite us with a distant God, but instead to believe in a Christ and a cross who has become a means of uncovering the divine within us, placed there by a very present and very loving God. Love, in the context of this life theology, isn't just an act or an emotion, though it is both of those things. It is first and foremost an identity. Sitting in the driver's seat behind the wheel of life, love is the identity of God, describing both God's being and God's doing, and by proxy, it is the identity of those of us who claim to know God, even on a small level, and who seek to live in the light of that divine presence. Faith holds my presence, hope carries me forward, but the greatest of these, love, is what guides and fulfills my knowledge of the divine, my own theology.